thought about humping a pillow? Well, if not, you should. I am Dr. Jordan Soper. I am a board-certified behavioral and cognitive psychologist, as well as an ASEX-certified sex therapist, and today we are talking about pillow humping. The reason that we're talking about this is for some individuals who are really exploring their sexuality or exploring their bodies, there's this assumption about what masturbation or solo sex looks like, and everyone kind of assumes it's this motion or it's DJing, where you have to do a direct contact to your genitals. But fun fact, a lot of individuals throughout their lifespan will actually engage in more humping motions or grinding motions, particularly with pillows. This is something I hear really regularly from patients, and today we're going to talk about why you should probably hump a pillow, which makes me giggle because my eldest, my pug, loves to hump pillows. May or may not include a video of that. Anywho, the reason that this is a really common experience for a lot of individuals, regardless of if you have a penis or a vagina and a vulva, is the sense of comfort. There is something stimulating to the pelvic floor or to the pelvis, not just the external genitalia, but the actual muscle and the actual pelvic floor or the pelvic muscles. And I am going to show you an example of what that looks like biomechanically and why it kind of works. So this is a vulva. This is an anatomy. So the reason that we're going to use this as an example is if we're looking right here, this pelvic bones and the internals of the vulva. For a lot of individuals, the reason that the grinding motion works very well for individuals is when the pelvic muscle, when the pelvic floor or the pelvis is pushed and grinded, you get pressure, and that grinding motion on the pressure of the pillow actually can really stimulate the clitoris. And for a lot of individuals, direct contact to the clitoris is actually like really hypersensitive or too sensitive, or for some it doesn't give you quite enough. So being able to utilize the humping or the grinding motion on a pillow can actually feel really stimulating for a lot of individuals. Now, when it comes to pillow humping or pillow grinding, could be grinding or humping, really depends on the type of really depends on the person, could also be just dependent on the type of pillow. This is a general smush pillow. It doesn't have a lot of give to it. For some individuals, that's ideal because then they can put their entire pelvis or their entire trunk or their body right into it, and they can really control the smushness of it, and they really enjoy that sensation. So a little bit more like mush, that could be one reason. For some individuals, they'd actually like a harder pillow to be able to add more pressure. Pressure is key with grinding and humping, the pressure to the genitals or to the pelvis. This is where the liberators can really come in, or a much harder pillow. So you see how much there's not much mush. This is my heart-shaped liberator from their Valentine's Day collection. I'm going to keep it forever and ever. But you notice how hard it is? For some individual, having a lot more of a hard pillow creates even more pressure. The thing I like about the liberators, do you see how it is slanted and angled? It allows you to determine where you want to put more pressure or less pressure, and to be able to match it to your body. So when we think about masturbation, when we think about solo sex, there's often this assumption that it is like a gripping or a friction or direct contact. But grinding may be your new best friend. Really being able to look at the grinding motion, regardless of your genitalia, and the kind of positive influence of grinding and humping. So were you surprised by any of this? Are you going to give it a try and go grind against a pillow tonight? If so, feel free to let us know how that goes, or if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. But remember to like, follow, and subscribe, and I'll see you later.